listening to Two Babies in a Business, a podcast about marketing, growth. I forgot business as well, strategy, staff, clients, babies and marriage. I'm Christina, joined by my husband, my business partner, my baby daddy, Peter Pilarski. we're, we're the founders and leaders of CIPR Communications. You liked that one.
Oh yeah, that was great.
You are.
I am. It's a statement of fact.
Surprise. So we're kind of fourth episode in. I just double checked into this kind of second series on marketing strategy. So we talked about kind of the importance of strategy, the importance of your business goals and kind of company values. Last time, SWOT analysis, target personas. So actually our fifth episode in. Now it's what are your actual marketing goals? So I feel like I would like to remind everyone there were a few steps before we got here. I think everyone dives into my marketing goals, sell 1 million things, have 1 million website visitors, do all this. And it's like, wait a second, back up the bus. So 4 steps, and now we're here at goals.
If I had $1 for every time somebody came to me and said, oh, yeah, I want to go and grow my social media following, or I want to go and whatever. And then I asked them, well, why? And it's like a deer in headlights. It's like, well, because somebody told me that having a lot of social media following is good for my business. It's like, okay. So maybe. I mean, it could be, or maybe there's nobody on social media that cares about your business. Who knows? Right. So yeah, no, it's definitely a conversation to be had after understanding all of the other things we talked about before this. And really, your marketing goals are all about your business goals and all driven by your business goals, right? It really starts there and kind of works its way down. And maybe if I can give a quick example of a client that we're currently working with, where I'm not going to name the name of the company. It's a company that's engaged in an e-commerce business. And, their business goal was $50,000 in revenue a month. We did a digital marketing blueprint for them and developed their personas and, did a bunch of research on their competitors and did all this kind of stuff. And then, towards the end of the report, we started talking about their marketing goals and whether they're achievable to help them reach their business goals. And so to give you an example, if you think about things like organic traffic, so SEO, organic traffic, we just know based on, general research and kind of experience online that organic traffic converts better than most other traffic sources. So, some stats out there that organic traffic converts at 16% compared to on average 2% for, say, paid search traffic or, something along those lines.
Now, let's just tell everyone what organic traffic is in case they don't know. So this is like me searching for marketing agency in Google and then finding CIPR Communications, not within those first top 3 that might say ad beside them, but the ones, hopefully ranking high on the page below.
Yeah.
So not searching CIPR, not those kind of branded keywords, but searching something, hey, I need to paint my house, painters in Calgary, and boom.
And a company's website comes up and you find that company. So that's organic traffic. And really that is the best traffic you can generate on a website, because what happens is people are searching for something that solves a problem or solves their need, and voila, there you are. They found you and you're the solution to their problem. So that's like, a very organic way for them to find you, which is, I think, why they call it organic traffic. But so anyways, with this particular client, we knew their business goal is $50,000 in revenue a month. And we knew basically that organic traffic, generates the best conversion rate. And so we said, okay, well, so we need to basically generate, I don't remember the numbers, but X amount of traffic to your website per month over a period of time. And then if you multiply that by a 16% conversion rate, that's going to get you to your $50,000 a month, basically revenue target, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where marketing goals then really come into play, is that, okay, my business goal is this, and there's various ways for me from a marketing perspective to achieve those goals. And so based on the various marketing avenues available to me, and based on the knowledge that exists out in the world on things like conversion rates, you can start to drill down and do the math backwards to figure out exactly what you need to achieve from a marketing perspective to reach those business goals.
Would you say, so I want to like kind of boil it down,
Okay.
but from a marketing goals perspective, I mean, we're an agency, obviously, that focuses on business growth. If you want to grow your business, you're going to come to us for marketing or communications. That's what we do. That's what we strive to do. I feel like internally, we break those things down into almost two categories, right? Brand reputation or brand awareness, and lead generation. So like tracking those prospects in. And I almost feel like potentially most businesses should have marketing goals within those two categories of brand reputation and lead generation, or maybe even just one, depending on the company and the organization. But do you think marketing goals generally drill down to those things?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think I'm glad that you said that, because really, if you think about it, sometimes to generate the sales, I always talk about authority and trust, right? Those are the two words really that kind of, for me, boil it down. And to build authority, both online and offline, you need to be seen as an expert. To build trust, you need to be an expert, and you need some experience, and you need a track record. It's kind of the same online. And so like, I'm glad you said that, because, a lot of companies are just focused on lead generation, leads, 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 leads. That's the only way I'm going to measure ROI. But that's a short-term way of thinking. And I think building your brand and building your reputation and building champions and building advocates, those are really important marketing goals, because those are what build longevity into your business. If you have, and I'm going to take Rumble Boxing Studio, because I think it's a great example. They do a fantastic job of marketing. They've built a great community, and that community is really, really passionate and really believes in what they do. And they actually call it the Rumble Tribe. So they've actually now created language that everybody that visits, all their staff, they all use that language. And if you think about the best marketing or the best companies in the world, think about WestJet. We're all WestJetters, right?
Hmm.
They've really built that brand loyalty, and that brand loyalty, as much as it's harder to measure from an ROI perspective, is probably incredibly like, it's way more valuable than just leads and sales. Because if something bad happens to your company, that those champions and that reputation you've created can really carry you through a crisis in ways that are really immeasurable, and can really help your brand and your company to survive and thrive through hard times, right?
I think I think too, it actually reminds me of something we've gone through, but also other companies, where it's like when you tie your company brand too closely to a person,
Mm.
and all of a sudden that person is fired or does something bad, or right, or a team grows. In our case, right, I think CIPR is very still probably synonymous with Christina and Peter, but like our team has grown and expanded, and CIPR is not a you and I anymore. It's a we. And I think, when you're thinking about building brand reputation, especially if you're a smaller team and you're looking, one of your business goals is team growth, then it's like, okay, how do I build my reputation and my, like you said, my community of champions or my loyal whoever, to expand broader than that. So if I go, or if someone else goes, there's not loyalty to that individual, there's loyalty to the company.
Totally. But your marketing goals really, and I think this is especially important for new companies. And I think a lot of companies look at like Apple and look at these massive brands and think, oh yeah, I could just, look, they just make nice products and everybody will come to them. And it's like, people have no idea how much work went into developing those brands and building the trust that came into those brands, and Steve Jobs coming out by himself and doing these huge announcements. Like, that's a lot of brand trust and loyalty and credibility that's been established over a period of time. And that is what ultimately generates the great sales and the great sort of success that they've had. Right. And so I think really, especially new companies, something I find they don't really understand is the need to really focus their marketing efforts on that building phase and really building, starting from the inside out, right? And so really you build with first your community and your friends and your family. And like, that's how all businesses start. And then some of your first customers become your champions and your most loyal advocates. And you keep sort of expanding your brand out. And then that's what leads ultimately to that lead generation and sales success. Now, you can be a bit of a one-hit wonder and sort of put out a product and be successful. And actually this one, the client we were just talking to that we just developed a digital marketing blueprint, developed a new product and had an amazing first month. And then they haven't been able to repeat that month. And so I think what happened is they had some brand loyalty from their previous, they had a different business model where they had a success and they built a new product because they had to because of COVID. And I think they had an initial brand loyalty transfer that helped to lead to sales and success. Right. But then once they've kind of exhausted those brand advocates, now they need to do the hard work of sort of building their brand and generating leads and figuring out how to, close sales. And, in other ways, and other marketing goals that you can think about too, is like things like conversion rate optimization, right? So, it's great to generate 1,000 people that come to your website. But if you can convert them 25% better every time they come to your website, think about what that means from a marketing perspective. Now, every single marketing dollar you've just spent converts that much better, right? So every single marketing dollar is more efficient. So marketing goals, are multifaceted, and they could be many different things. And, they could be things like growing your social media presence, because growing your social media presence gets you to a point where now you have a really big following and you have people advocating for you and sharing you online and that kind of thing. It could be generating traffic to your website, but it also can be improving the conversion rate of your website. It could be reducing cart abandonment if you're a e-commerce website, so that less people abandon your cart and more people actually make a buy. It could be incentivizing further sales down the road, right? Like there's many, many different ways and many different sort of goals. But ultimately, all of those goals really move their way up to what are the business goals, right? And that's really fundamentally what drives everything.
Yeah, I, as you're sipping your rum and eggnog or enjoying your cannabis edible over the holidays here when this podcast is dropping, I think for me it's like I would love in 2021 for businesses to move away from, all right, this quarter we want 25% growth on our social media channels and 10% growth on our website traffic, and a bounce rate down by this percent. And to, like what you said, start focusing on like, what's the return on investment? What's the value of my customer? I think there's good things we've talked about here. So if you're taking notes, think about these things as you're building your 2021 marketing goals. Building trust and authority. And I think there's different ways you can do that. And it means different things. Website authority. Maybe we can dig into that topic a little bit later, but what does it mean? Trust and authority in your space. Building advocates, I think important from both sides, brand reputation and awareness, but also conversion, referrals, reviews, all of those things. And then that generating leads and conversions. And I think almost if you started with those three things as your marketing goals and made those the top level bullets, and then had some sub bullets underneath in terms of, some direct things on how you think you're going to achieve those. So is it an updated website, and what does that look like? Is it, a new social media channel or growth on the social media channel? Is it, developing a new program? Like I would love to see goals more orientated towards doing rather than these kind of achievement
bottom line
goals.
Kind of goals. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a better way to look at your marketing program. Because again, your business goals are your numbers. I want to hit this revenue. I want to hit these things. And so it's like your marketing goals really should be achieving those numbers.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. And I think bigger and think top line, think bottom line. And think everything in between, because and you know what, and we talk about this as an agency sometimes too, but sometimes it's like a marketing goal might be developing a process internally for decision making around marketing that can get organizational buy-in. That's a huge problem in companies, huge problem. And it's like marketing person thinks, oh, let's go in this direction, and starts running and starts spending money, and then CEO is like, what the hell are you doing, and like stops them, and then they've lost 6 months, because now they're spinning their wheels and figuring out, it's like figuring out internal processes from a marketing communications perspective should be actually one of probably the most important goals at the onset for most companies, and creating a decision-making matrix and sort of having a framework, as we like to discuss at CIPR, as to how to evaluate success. Those are all important goals, and it's actually harder to do. And, you know, personalities get in the way, and I'm guilty. I'm that guy that, you know, sees the shiny objects and gets excited. But if you have clearly laid out strategy and frameworks and goals, then it puts context into those kind of, oh, look at that shiny object, let's go try that. And it keeps you focused on kind of the strategy and the plan in front of you.
Totally. Process. I love it. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Any final words there, Peter? What are you getting me?
Well, I guess this episode's dropping somewhere between Christmas and New Year's. So, you know, similar to marketing goals, get out there and build some goals for your life for the new year. It's going to be great. 2021, going big.
It drops before Christmas, so
Well,
have some Christmas present
thinking
goals.
about it.
Bye.